got you long gone, it don't matter. Ride or die, that's been the deal. The light of your body, God is
You
the
guys
deal.
always want something, so let's drop this off and we'll get into this video. Talk about insurance, what it really costs to drive a Porsche 911. Alright guys, what's going on? I actually wanted to talk to you guys about a little something different today. I want to talk about something that usually people don't really talk about, and that's insurance. When getting these cars, like for me, for example, with the 911, when I got this car, insurance wasn't really like something I really focused on until I really had to go searching for the insurance. I knew it'd be pricey, but the quotes I got were so drastic. Like, the fact that it's hard to put in perspective how they justify their prices. First off, like, I'll be straight honest, like right now what I have is GEICO. They were great off the bat, and it's what I had before, so I was comfortable with them. I knew what they were about. But when I went shopping for these quotes, I realized there's a lot of things that you're not sure of yet. Like, how often are you gonna use the car, how many miles are you gonna put on, the amount of insurance you should be covered for, whether it's liability or so on and so forth. You really want to kind of maximize it, because you want to be extra cautious rather than not be insured when you really need it. You know what I mean? If something happens, someone smashes a window, especially being in the city, windows get smashed all the time. You know, you want to make sure all your boxes are checked to make sure you're covered. So when I went looking out for insurance, the level was they were so far from each other, and some insurance companies don't even cover you. They're like, oh, so like I work in the medical field. Luckily we have some that are cheaper. We have little benefits with other companies, insurance companies. So then I went to these insurance companies and I noticed, I don't know if it was Arbella or Umbrella, something along that line. They didn't cover the Porsche 911. Like, sorry, we don't cover that car. It's a little out of our reach, blah, blah, blah. And that's something you have to understand too, is like, if you're comfortable with an insurance company, make sure they cover your car, because you really don't know if you're going to be left high and dry. And then when you go to get the car, you have to give them like a 30-day window from when you're insured. So unless you have an existing policy with someone and they actually cover your car, then you're good. But if you by chance go with a new insurer and then, okay, I'm getting my car tomorrow and I should be covered with my insurance if I just click on this button, whatever. That's not the case, because like, especially in California, they give you about, I think it's 15 to 13 days to like kind of overview your file and make sure you're eligible to be covered or qualified to be covered for that car or wherever you're at. So your background check, I guess you'd say. I could be wrong. I'm not in the insurance field. I don't know what all the terminology is, but there's a window between 15 to 30 days for them to run like a background on you, to make sure you're you and everything's legit. Doing all that, I ran into issues when I was trying to find an insurance company that just made more sense. Right off the bat, I was really shocked, because I went to AAA. Like, I'm gonna tell you everyone I went to. I went to AAA and they wanted to charge me $14,000 a year. To me, that's insane, man. $14K, that's a project car. Every year, that's a brand new project car you can work on. It doesn't make sense to me that just to get something insured that you're gonna just drive around casually would be $14,000. I understand, if you don't have the money for it, don't buy it. It's a dream. This car is a dream. Let's be real. I'm at that level that, like, okay, now I feel a bit more comfortable. I can pursue this dream and actually make that purchase, and boom. But to see $14,000 to insure a vehicle, that kind of spooked me a little bit. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Not enough for me to back out, but still at the range, like, oh, I gotta go dig around and see what else is out there. So then I went to Hagerty. Hagerty is known for like car lovers, car enthusiasts. They're on your side. It's not about the insurance, it's about the love of the car. It's all in their slogan, whatever. And I go with them and it's like, oh, you can't be covered because you'll be driving it too much. But isn't it the whole point to drive these cars, to enjoy these cars, to live life in these cars, like to experience it? But you're not going to get insured because you're driving it too much? Like, let that make sense. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? So then I try to like, okay, maybe my numbers are wrong, and I try to like finagle the miles, because I don't know how many miles I'm going to put on. So I put off the bat 12,000 miles, which is insane, because legit, I walk to work. I don't need the car to go to work. It's my daily, but it's not really a daily as a commuter. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, let me just, fib the miles a little bit because I really don't think I'm going to make 12,000 miles a year. And then right now I'm at 1,300. I'm at 1,300 miles since August, and today's February. It's Super Bowl Sunday, so it's a February 11th. Well, I don't even know what today's date is. Yeah, it's the 11th. But I've only put 1,300 miles. There's no way I'm going to get 12,000 miles, but I nipped myself in the butt doing that. So I dumbed down the mileage just to kind of see what was going on from this. So I don't know roughly how many miles I'm going to make. So when I did that with Hagerty, there's still an error message and they won't cover me. I'm like, okay, or if they cover me, I'm only covered on certain days out of the week and blah, blah, blah. You can't be covered as a daily driver or a daily commuter or anything like that. But I really wasn't sure how I was going to use the car. Now that I get to feel like I mainly use it on the weekends, maybe once or twice during the week, I kind of drive wherever. Because legit, like, we're at work most of the day anyway. You come home, you eat shit and sleep, you know what I mean? Then it's on repeat. But for me, it didn't make sense to me to go with Hag. So then I went with Progressive and I went to GEICO, and they were all roughly in the same ballpark. Shockingly enough, I think for the year, they're both around $4,000 a year. I think one's a little bit more than the other. Depends on what time of year fill out your application. I feel like they always vary, but by now I have GEICO and I'm paying about $2,000 every 6 months, so a year $4,000. And I think Progressive, I even looked today, and I'll give you all the screenshots of everything that I looked up too. Progressive was a little cheaper today, but then again, it was probably more expensive in August when I first got my insurance, and that's why I didn't go with them. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go where it's best for my needs. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm currently sitting at GEICO, and I'm happy with them. There has been no issues, but they do, like, keep an eye out, because these companies will send you like messages in the mail like, oh, by the way, let us know what your mileage are. If not, we're gonna give you the max mileage, and then your rates will go up. And then like, oh, and then I just got a letter today, which you saw me put in the beginning of the video to the mailbox, that they want to know like, oh, yeah, some of our numbers don't match up. Can you please send us more information? If not, we'll have to adjust your payments. So then there's like little things that you got to look out for that, like, with time, they'll just increase your rates. You know what I mean? I'm not saying GEICO or Progressive or any of these are guilty of them, but the things that you got to look out for to protect you and protect your assets. You know what I mean? And especially protect your ass when you're paying all this kind of money. So just keep an eye out when you're going to get insurance. Shop around. Don't just go with what you have, even though it might be the better choice. Look around. I was shocked to see that AAA was $14,000. I'm like, that just makes no sense to me. I know it's an expensive car. This car is roughly what, $230, and then maybe $240 with the PPF, but that doesn't count. Out the gate, it's about a $230,000 car. So yeah, you're gonna pay a premium. You're gonna pay more. They're gonna expect more out of you because you're getting more. You know what I mean? But man, it's funny driving these cars. You're more cautious anyway, but you really got to be worried about the people that are around you. That's what gets at you, and the random crap that's on the highway, like the debris and everything. But it's funny because driving these cars, you're more like alert, and I want to see like you're more on edge of like your surroundings, the way you're driving, you know, not being a jerk and just like cutting people off, and actually being cognitive of your surroundings. It kind of makes me feel like insurance should be cheaper, even though the price of the car is crazy expensive. You're just less of an ultimate driver, if you know what I mean, when you buy a car like this. You're just more cautious. You're more civil. It's weird. It brings you up to a different category. This has been my experience with dealing with insurance. Keep in mind that when you're thinking of buying your dream car, or the car that's a little like, okay, I have the funds, now it's time to buy this sports car or this next level car or truck that you've been dreaming of, and make sure that like the insurance and everything else checks all your boxes and falls into place, so you're not like, oh crap, I wasn't expecting this larger expense while I was trying to get this out of the way. You know what I mean? I know it's basics for a lot of people, but when you're excited and that's about to happen, then you kind of forget about the small things in a way. Luckily, I lined myself up and I did everything I was supposed to, but I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this on the internet. Everybody's like, oh, my dream car is delivered, my this whatever is delivered. Unveiling my new car. Every YouTuber every month is getting a new car. I don't know how they're doing it, but insurance is something that no one ever talks about, unless it's like they have some LLC thing they're running their stuff under. I'm not there. I'm a small YouTuber. I don't even consider myself a YouTuber. I just got I just looked around for the car of my dreams, documented driving other cars that I was a fan of until I driven them, and I realized I hated them. And now I'm in my dream car, which is this 911 GTS Cabriolet. It's phenomenal. If you're looking for a car and then you think your dream car is a certain car, I highly recommend, please, with all the chips on the line, rent out whatever car you think you want. That little test drive is not going to do for you at the dealership. And most cars in this bracket, they're not going to let you drive anywhere. You already know about them. You know what I mean? So I recommend going on Turo, renting a car for a week, because if you can buy that car, if you can lease or do whatever, if you're thinking about buying that car, you can definitely rent that car for a weekend. If you can't rent that car for the weekend, you probably should be buying that car to begin with. You know what I mean? But I definitely recommend buying the car of your dream by testing it out first, because dreams aren't really reality. But once you get into them, and that's when everything kind of unfolds. Like, you know what, this car doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it made sense when I was 10, 18, 22, whatever, but like as time goes on, it doesn't make sense. This car right here made all the sense, and it wasn't even in my radar when I first bought the car. When I was first looking for cars, it was the Audi R8, the AMG GT, this new C8. Like, it was in that realm of cars that I was looking at. Never was it the 911, and I'm so happy I did, because I love this car. It's been the best purchase I've ever made in my life. And I don't see myself ever getting rid of this car. I just feel at home. I feel relaxed. I don't want to say content, because it's more than content. I'm just so ecstatic every time I get into this car. And there's certain things I'm slowly learning about it too, but that's for another video. Right now is insurance. And right now I'm paying $4,000. My ADHD is all over the place. I can just keep going on and rambling. At the same time, keep that in mind when you're going to buy your dream car or next purchase, that insurance might bring you up over the edge that you thought you could afford. And I'm not saying you should be living paycheck to paycheck, but a lot of it's not. You know what I mean? It's just reality. Yeah, man. Insurance was such a game at the beginning. And make sure you give yourself enough of that window, that 30-day or 15-day, because you think you're just gonna get a quote and then you'll be covered the same day. It's not the case, because they have to do a whole background thing, make sure you're legit, and all of a sudden your car's sitting at the showroom for another 30, 15 days, even if it's, whether it's your car or not, who knows by then, you know what I mean? But I hope this helped out. It wasn't really more of like an FYI. I guess it was an FYI, because I want to keep you guys in the loop of like what goes on when you make a purchase like this. Is there any secret, hidden costs or so on and so forth? So far, since I bought the car, there hasn't been any issues. Knock on wood, knock on race tech, knock on Alcantara or whatever. There hasn't been any issues. But besides making my payments, you know what I mean? I'm not sure. Well, you know what? In the comments, let me know what car you have and what your insurance looks like. Because I think a lot of people, don't really talk about it. So whatever quote you get is like, okay, this is what it is. But I feel like more people talked about it, we'd be all on the same page, and hey, it would help us more than it was the insurance companies, right? The insurance companies are the biggest buildings in the city, right? I think we should know what's going on. But let me know in the comments what you drive and what your insurance looks like. And I know it's going to vary with age, because we're all with jerks when we were younger driving like idiots. It's part of learning. It's part of getting it through our system. And sometimes we still do it as adults. But still, don't matter. But let me know in the comments what you guys are dishing out. And then maybe, I don't know, some of us will relate to whatever's going on and be like, hey, how'd you get this? And blah, blah. And then you can talk to your insurance company like, hey, I've heard this so-and-so, this individual is getting this amount. What's the situation? Why is mine more? So on and so forth. Maybe help yourself out too, you know what I mean? But I'm sitting at $4K a year to insure a 2024 911 GTS Cabriolet. It's not bad. That I'm okay with. The $14,000, not okay with. That doesn't make sense to me. But this, perfect. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Hope it helped you out in a way, and kind of let you know what's going on, and everything's transparent in a way. You know what I mean? But keep me posted and whatever else you want to see. I think there's something about this car I haven't told you guys about that I feel like I need to let you guys know about. And I think I'm going to let you know in the next video. So like, subscribe, hit the notification, do whatever you want to do. It's YouTube. We're not, 87. I think we know what we got to do right now with this whole YouTube situation. But if you like the content, like, subscribe, do what you got to do. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.